Hey, this is Sneaker Show Podcast. My name's Tim. I love sneakers. Weekly, we get together. We talk about shoes that are coming out. Today, I've got a pair of Air Jordan One Lows, and it's the OG cut, and they're black and they're pink, and I think they're awesome. What do you guys got for me? Shay's here. Nathan's here. Guys, what are we talking about this week?
I am talking about the new Off-White Air Force One that is apparently going to be coming out. One that I think a lot of people thought were going to be friends and family, but apparently they're going to be releasing in July. So, Nathan, what do you
Green
got?
off-whites. Let's go. Nathan, Young Tabasco. This week, what will people learn?
They're going to learn about some Hello Kitty shoes that are coming out and some Hello Kitty shoes that have already came out. And that's what we're talking about this week.
Hello Kitty shoes. They're Prestos. Comes with the apparel. The apparel would go great with these black and pink Jordans. Sign me up. We have a guest this week. Our guest works at SoleSavy. He'll explain what SoleSavy is. Basically, his name is Connor. What Connor does is he makes dreams come true. He's hooking people up with pairs at retail. He's making the connection happen. He's a really interesting guy. He has a mad collection, several $1,000 pairs that he doesn't even mention. He's just like, oh, yeah, those are shoes. And this is the week when we give away 5 golden tickets. Shout out to Momentum, the store in Saskatoon. The golden tickets are good for any release this year. Thank you to everyone who entered. There were over 750 entries for this. That's incredible. So thank you, Momentum, and thank you for watching. The big winners will be announced at the end of this episode. So let's go. You guys ready? Let's
Hell
start
yeah.
the
100%.
show. 100.
Here we go.
So we're on a first date with Connor over here. Really, it's a chance to get to know you. It's funny when you follow from afar and you get an idea of who somebody is. And then you actually get to speak to them and find out how close your approximation was. So thank you for being here, Connor.
Oh, it's no problem at all. Thank you for having me. This is actually one of the first outside of SoleSavy podcasts I've been on in quite some time, so figured why not? Looks like quite the show to be on.
Well, you've got a clean setup. You sound really good. Let's start by talking about SoleSavy. We know the guys here. We got a bunch of questions for you. Maybe you can just explain to our listeners what SoleSavy is.
Yeah, absolutely. So SoleSavy is sort of sneaker service slash community where we focus on making sure that everybody's got a kind of a good lease on all the release information in one place. But our entire mission is that we are there to get you that one personal pair for retail that the reseller keeps stealing away from you. So essentially, we are all about trying to gather up all the information that we can, given as fair of an edge in kind of an online sneaker buying world where a lot of it feels futile just because each of those drops that you wake up for each morning sell out immediately. So we kind of go over strategies as well as offering tools on the service to be able to help you cop for retail quite a bit easier.
That just sort of leaves me with a bunch of questions. There's no real answer. How does it work? You guys are educating people on this and assisting in getting pairs for less than resale.
Yep, that's correct. And then on top of that, the whole community kind of shares the same vibe as well. So the whole policy on the platform when you sign up is that if you are selling sneakers on the platform, or if you are buying, trading, and selling, it's all going to be for the retail value, with trading being more or less market value, just because that's got to be the fair evaluation for everybody who's trading inside of there. But yeah, everybody on there, they'll provide a proof of purchase. And on top of that, we also pride ourselves on having an assist forum. So anybody pre-release who's really eyeing that pair of sneakers can have an avenue to just be able to post up there and see if anybody's able to help them out on drop day.
Cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
It's like the cool uncle that gets you your first case of beer, hey?
Sort of.
Yeah, loosely.
Except the way to get in isn't you bum the ID off of somebody else.
Right.
You you have to jump into the lineup, and there's a whole strategy involved in getting into that store in the first place. But yeah, very much so.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll leave it with you, Tabby. You got a few questions here.
I do. Connor, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So, what would you say your role at SoleSavy is primarily?
For sure. So I am one of the release specialists on the team. What I actually specialize in is our live cop program that we call the Live Release Lounge. And so essentially it's me and a couple of other staffers on, and it's for a lot of the big releases. So recently we just did one for the Union Jordan 2s. We also did one for the sort of double pack release of the Union Dunks, and a lot of the random boutique releases as well, as long as the boutiques are kind of playing ball with having enough stock. But other than that, we kind of take in about 1,000 or so people each time on a Zoom call, just like we got here. And essentially it's me as well as staff kind of talking everybody through the steps that they need to take in order to have the best chances of copping. And it's been great. It's been a great experience so far, because as far as it goes, I'm able to work in something that I'm passionate in, but also I get to help out a lot of people day in and day out. So it's kind of fun just to see those shout outs as far as people who were very, very much like, man, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to buy in, especially like anybody kind of sitting in that size 13 and 14 range, or even in some of the smaller sizes out there, that we're actually able to help them get some pairs and also help them feel like they have a fighting chance on that release day.
Look at this guy, by the people, for the people, hey?
We
love
try,
it.
we try.
We love it. So, let's switch a little more into your sneaker history. So, what got you into sneakers? And then the second part of this, we'll do what's in your rotation lately.
All right. So as far as where I started out, actually, if we're going like way, way back, it was when I actually first got a pair of Reebok Zigs, which were
All right, yeah.
kind of the first like comfy running shoe that I had after being in school for a while and kind of just going off of whatever discount shoe that I was able to get. So it was cool to have something that was comfortable and kind of to have something that you feel like you can run faster in and just feel a little bit more comfortable with. But really started to kick off probably around, I want to say like silver box era of Nike SB. Nearby my school, there was the Source, which shout out, they're still around here and they still do great stuff as far as Nike SB drops and everything else go. But would always stop by there, would always try to pick up a pair of Nike SBs from there, and I ended up amassing kind of a collection back then. Took a little bit of a hiatus in after around like 2007 or so, after the cash revenue didn't really match up with being able to cop that many, and also B, the space was kind of starting to run out there, but felt like it kind of peaked around that period. Then I kind of came back after a while where believe it was around 2015, 2016, I started to see like the sneaker world really, really sort of evolved. As much as I liked Nike SB because of the fact that they were kind of able to go really, really outside the box as far as collaborations go, I was really excited to see the fact that there were so many other collaborators jumping into the space, really innovating up the space. The fact that Kanye was spicing things up by jumping to Nike, to Adidas. There's a whole bunch of drama in the sneaker space that I just felt like it was almost sirens calling me back in to jump into the hobby. So been in since then, and yeah, ever since then, just been keeping a close eye out on the scene, and again, was happy enough to be able to work in the industry as a result of just following it kind of passively.
Bro, for a young guy, you got history.
Gets deep.
We get around.
Shout out ZigTex, shout out Sidney Crosby.
Hey, there you go.
I bet you were fast in those. You didn't just feel fast.
Yeah.
I bet you were.
No, 100%.
I want to be able. I want to be able to gas myself up like that, but no, we're still running like middle pack of the gym class on those for sure.
You were as fast as you could be with those shoes on.
Exactly. We'll put it that way. I like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So maybe it is the ZigTex or maybe it isn't, but what do you got on lately?
For sure. So, actually, just got a chance to head out to Vancouver for a little bit with SoleSavy, which was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Had a little bit of a rotation there, but I wanted to highlight one pair in particular. We kept it on deck just in case, but I was happy to finally be able to pull these out. So,
the P-Rods.
I have been trying really, really hard to finally work these into an outfit, or finally work these into a situation where I'd be able to wear them out and about. I was able to do so in Vancouver, and very, very happy I was able to do so. Quick tip for everybody, though, if you are planning on wearing these through an airport, probably don't do that, because they do have the metal dubres on the front, so you're going to have to take them off anyway. So I thought I was way smarter than that, and was like, oh yeah, low top shoe, we'll be able to walk those straight through. Trip the metal detector. So just a quick tip on those, but really, really big fan of these. I think the only qualm that I have with them is that, people start to pick size on left shoe versus right shoe. I gotta know, guys, do you like the left with the P-Rod better, or the right with the P-Rod better?
Hold them up here. Let's get a good look.
So we have
the millions of viewers can
our
look
right.
too.
So we
I
have
like
the
that.
right one.
Yeah, the rainbow Mexican blanket toe box version on the right there.
And even I was like, even kind of like the fact that they go for like the different tongue tags on them. So that's your right shoe. And then we have the left one, and I gotta say I'm rocking with the left one a little bit more just because that's probably like one of my favorite
Yeah.
swooshes that they put on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
all for the left one.
Yeah. So very, very much feeling the left. So I'm on the left gang with that one, but again, I kind of like the mismatch vibe. I have gone on the record before of mismatching shoes, and it was a little bit flagrant, but at least these are actually mismatched. So can't take any flack on that one. But yeah, those were my kind of go around as far as Vancouver goes. But otherwise, also in the rotation, unfortunately, I've been a little bit basic as far as wearing a lot of dunk lows lately. But really, really happy with these actually because I wasn't feeling crazy, crazy jazzed on them in the beginning. But the Argon colorway, the Union Dunks, rip stops. So especially through the snowier days that we had in Calgary, I was really, really happy to be able to wear these around and not really worry too much about screwing these up too much. But reflective hits on these are pretty good. I'm still an SB fan through and through, so I really wish they went for the SB, and I really wish they went for the fatter tongue. But at the same time, I can't deny it's a good colorway. A lot of really, really cool elements that I didn't really appreciate from the pictures, but really do appreciate in hand now that I have them. So between those two, those are the two that have seen a lot of wear over the past little bit.
That was the best color of that pack, I think, too.
Yeah, people were fighting about it on staff. Like I know I definitely had oops, sorry about that. I have a bleeding nose going on right now. That's not good.
That's all right, man.
Nice. Yeah, no,
Cool.
this guy's podding hard, man. He's That's right, podcast till your nose bleeds, dude. I love it. I
That's all
love
good.
it. There's just so much good stuff coming out of you.
No, but I was like definitely my favorite out of the pack. I felt a little bit weird about it just because of the fact that we're kind of riding that university blue vibe over the last little bit. So I was like, it's another university blue shoe, but I think they really pulled it off with that. I think they really did a good job of making that unique.
I think you really pulled off this moment really well, Connor. You're doing great saving it. If you want, we can take a moment. We can pause, jump back in if you like.
I'll clean up really quickly here. Apologies on that.
No problem. I can edit. We'll come in. We'll come
Yeah,
out.
podcast
exactly.
first.
The
That's
crazy,
first, brother.
the crazy jump cut there. Absolutely. Yeah.
No problem, bro. No worries at all.
Good stuff. Okay, we're back. We should be
Oh.
back. As long as it doesn't look too bad on the screen here. We're all
No,
right.
Not
it's
at
great.
all.
This is great content. We couldn't have even planned that.
All right, well, that's it, Exactly. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't have like a fluid rule going on there.
Hopefully
Awesome.
blood's okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's a moment. Anyway,
It is. It's a first. We love it. All right. So I'm glad that you even touched on mismatching shoes here. So
Yeah.
there's a rumor that slides around the lineups and drops in Calgary that back in the day when you worked at the Apple Store, you'd rock.
I had a feeling.
Off-white Chicago Jordan 1 and the UNC on the other foot while you were in there changing screens and all that fun stuff. Can you confirm or deny this rumor?
I can confirm it, and it's also something where when I was referencing that I mismatched before, that it was a little bit flagrant. That was one of them.
That's
That was
it.
actually on Black Friday, of all days. So I
Nice.
decided that was the day where, hey, if a bunch of people are coming in to buy iPhones and everything else, we get to show out a little bit. And so I think that was definitely one of my more ill-advised fit decisions, especially with the Apple fit up at the top. But I remember getting a good laugh out of it when I saw that up on CSX, and I think one of the exact captions that ended up getting me was, "Man, this guy must sell a lot of Apple Care," and they were right. But all that aside, if you ever buy to blow up my spot a little bit, I don't work there anymore. But if you ever buy the Market Mall Apple Store, that was always the way that people were able to recognize me. They were able to look down, and they were always able to be like, "Oh yeah, that's that kid."
That's
so,
the guy.
Yep.
So were you actually scrolling CSX and you went, those look like my shoes? That's
Hey,
me that they're pointing out?
somebody sent it to me. So somebody sent me that picture, and I think I actually recognized that somebody was taking that picture while I was in the lineup, because really enough, that wasn't the first time in the Apple Store that I had somebody trying to sneak a picture of my shoes. But at the same time, like as soon as I saw it, and as soon as I saw the way that the pants hit, I was like, oh no.
It wasn't quite the way it should be in your head.
No,
Yeah,
no.
but what a flex. I mean, the guy's like, look how much money. Look how much. 2 pairs. I love it.
Just for the sake of it, And I was like, I like the way that the orange played with the UNCs, and I like the way that you could play the green laces with the Chicago, so that's kind of where it ended up coming from. I do regret wearing those off-white Chicago ones, and like that is definitely like one of the shoes that I always feel like I kind of have to deflate the hype for a little bit, because after your first initial wear of those things get thrashed. Like that toe box does not survive. I definitely had a friend who wore a pair to Foot Locker, and we had a little bit of a picture that we took at the Calgary Stampede, and his toe box is thrashed. Like it's completely poked through. So I'm like, that's definitely a display shoe. Not a huge fan of the fact that I wore those out there, but yeah, no, still a moment that follows me to this day randomly, like here. So
I love that we could see the look in your eyes. You're like, oh no, they're not going to do it too, are they?
There's no way these guys know
I was
about this.
prepared. I was prepared.
Fair enough. All right.
Fredo,
Yeah.
jump in if you like, bud.
Yeah, no, I was going through your Instagram, and even at like the cause drop that we met you at, you like came through with that shit on. Um, for lack of a
True.
better term, I don't know. You were easily probably like the best dressed at that release. I know even going through your Instagram, you have a ton of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I know you just picked up 85s, or sorry, 95s not too long ago.
That I did, yeah. So from a curated van, so shout out Ty. I had a friend who was very, very much enabling me on jumping on a certain pair, so I was very down for it. It was originally going to be a pair from Foxtrot Uniform when I saw that those went up there, but figured we'd support some Canada local at the very least. And what I will say about those are awesome. I pulled off the Spider-Man fit for better or for worse in those, so wore
I think
those
you pulled it
to-
off.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very
Yeah.
much. We always take the self-deprecating approach to it as a just in case. But other than that, I do feel a little weird wearing those every now and again, because the tread on those is gone. Like pretty much like you're walking around like you're on one of those like have you ever done curling with those like
Gotta be
slides
dry
on your
out
side?
if you're wearing
Yeah, exactly. So it definitely has to be dry. We definitely did a little bit of slipping and sliding in those, and I do worry that they will randomly disintegrate. But man, vintage ones like that, absolutely nuts. Like huge fan of those. They held up really, really well, and other than the fact that they're super duper smooth, I really love those. Those are definitely a centerpiece.
Ironic how it's the opposite of Spider-Man. He can stick to anything, and you were like in the picture.
I'm slipping and sliding around. Yeah, literally. We're not getting traction to climb walls in those at all. But you know what? We feel so fly in those that we don't need webs to fly with those. So we're feeling pretty good.
Fair enough.
Is there anything else that you're like looking to pick up here? I know you have like some grails. Is there anything else you're after right now?
Yeah, so I got a couple things on there. I think I finally kind of reached settlement as far as a lot of the stuff that I was looking into, because especially like I think off-white Prestos were definitely the ones that I had on my list for a while, because I do have a pair dead stock, but I wanted a pair to be able to actually like wear out and about, and I was lucky enough to be able to cop those, unfortunately before Virgil ended up passing, but other than that, kind of just forward on the radar. Jumping back a little bit, looking for a pair of the Sean Cliver SBs, so sort of the Christmas pair that he had going on with sort of the gold swoosh on that. Never got a chance to be able to hit those up, but really looking into grabbing a pair of those in the future. But if I'm being honest, as far as like grail, that feels like kind of unachievable over the last little bit. I'm kicking myself because I've had multiple chances to be able to buy those, but I never did. Doom Dunks. Been looking for Doom Dunks for a really long time. They're at a fever pitch right now. They're quite hard to get my hands on, so those have been looking for a while.
What size are you? Are you like a tougher size?
So size 8, which originally when I was starting out sneaker collecting, I thought was a little bit harder, but now we're starting to get down there a little bit. So I've definitely been able to talk to a lot of people in that size range who've got some pretty crazy stuff. But every now and again, that size 8 just kind of hits an anomaly, and it ends up being a little bit more expensive than the other sizes. So.
Oh, for sure. Sick, dude.
Connor's being very modest. The Instagram is full of real grails. Cause 4. He's got the Union 1s in red and black, the 94 Chicagos, Travis OGs, the off-white 4s, the sail joints. Got him in love with those. He's got the complete pack of the Union 4s, all 4 of them. We've had this discussion before. I'd like you to rank those 4 shoes. All the Jordan 4s from Union.
Ooh.
Best
I've
to
got
worst.
I've got a very controversial pick for the number 1, I feel like, because every
yeah?
time I say it, people are like, no, that's the worst colorway. But probably going from top to bottom, I would probably go Off Noir as at number 1, would probably go Guava Ice at number 2, and then Topaz 3, Desert Moss 4. The rest of that list feels conventional, but for some reason, whenever I mention off noirs, sometimes people are really 50-50 on that colorway. So
The
No,
black with like the
that's the
corn
best one.
midsole.
yeah,
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 Yeah, absolutely is.
yep.
those are easy to love.
I gotta ask you guys though, we going tongue up or we going tongue down on the unions?
Well,
Tongue
only
up.
one of us has them actually. So
Well, theoretically, if we were, would you unstitch that tongue?
to me, it's a different shoe with the tongue down, and that's why I like that. But I don't have a pair.
I
I
see.
would go down too, probably.
Fair enough.
It's just that's the most classic part of the Jordan 4 for me, I think, is that tongue. So it's got to be up.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I definitely jumped on those because of the fact that I tried to champion that when people were really dumping on them when those pictures initially leaked. Because I was like, yeah, people used to go tongue down in the 90s and everything. Like, that's a cool decision, but I'm fairly sure you can unstitch it. That's the reason why I feel like I have a little bit of kinsmanship with that pack, because of the fact that ever since people started seeing those pictures, people were really dragging those original pictures
For
and
real,
those original
especially the
colorways.
guavas. Yeah.
Oh, it was insane. Like, people were like very much hating on them until we actually got to around the release time. So that was one where I was like, that was my hill to die on. Ended up working out. Those shoes had an amazing launch, by the way. So as far as that ended up going, that was like a key SoleSavy moment for me, where we had that first initial union drop, and they ended up using bot protection that actually worked. We joke around all the time inside of the community about what color is an orange, because that was the original anti-bot prompt that they ended up using for that. But yeah, that kind of kicked off an era for a lot of us as far as like being able to follow those online releases and being like, hey, maybe we can actually get some
Got a
kicks.
shot.
Exactly.
That's what that day felt like. I knew people who won. There was so much on social being like, I actually hit
Yep.
on these. I hit these. And everyone was trying for the noirs because they were the easier to like. But there were so few of them, and there were more
Yep.
guavas. And if you went for the guavas, you had a better chance.
Yeah,
What color
yeah.
is an orange?
And that was kind of our big takeaway info on that, was just the fact that like Union was making the guava ice exclusive to the Union website, so people knew that that was going to end up being stocked better. I really like the way that the community ended up playing around with it, because that ended up being the shoe of the year for the year that it released for us when we left it up to the community vote, and it was because of the fact that so many people were able to cop those on that day. So quite a few people who are like, yeah, I always wanted the guava ice. A couple other people like, yeah, I was able to get them, so now I like them. And it was really cool to see people being like, oh yeah, I'm actually able to get it, and how much that really influenced how much people love those shoes.
Okay, so recently Union did the Jordan 2 release. Did you guys have success with that?
Yes, however, it was a little bit of a mess for them. Overall, overall, like, Union has had a pretty good track record as far as their releases have gone. Really, the only kind of down point up to that point was the Tenton Trail Union 4 pack, where they were raffling everything out. But this was probably one of their messier releases as far as since then. And as far as that goes, it was a shoe so nice they actually made everybody buy it twice, to the point that they ended up having payment issues out the wazoo. A whole bunch of people ended up getting these ghost charges on their credit cards, where the only way that they were able to actually rectify that was refunding every confirmed order of the shoe and resending out invoices for everybody to be able to buy. So it was a little bit of a mess. We were on that lounge for about an hour and a half to around 2 hours trying to follow that release, as they had all their payment processing issues from the website going up to the website going down. So overall, it definitely could have been handled better. Still, overall, like a decently coppable drop, but it definitely was kind of the first example that we've seen of that kind of drop where it was like, all right, there's a lot of issues here.
Yeah, well, good for you for having the patience to hang in there. Some of us just went, oh, I'm not going to hit it, and then walked away. Now, Shay had a different experience. Fredo has the twos coming, the rattan colorway in size 11 and a half. And can you explain, Shay, how you're not paying tax on these?
Yeah, I was like almost stoked because when they like gave you the refund and sent you the new invoice, their way of apology or whatever was like covering ship and tax. So I don't know, being from Canada, I saved like $80. So I don't know. I was almost more excited that they did it that way because it saved me $80.
Worked out good.
I wasn't tripping.
I don't blame you. I definitely had, because concepts ended up kind of dropping in a similar way, but those could only be shipped directly to Canada, and I ended up, even in Alberta with a 5% sales tax, ended up with like $100 like duties and taxes bill. So that shipping waiving definitely helps, especially shopping from Canada.
Yeah, well, I got one more question for you, and then we can go on to this week's pairs and talking about what we like and what we don't like. I just wonder, like, if you have a story about working at SoleSavy where someone's looking for a particular pair and it happened, and you were part of that. Is there some sort of success story you can share with us, where it's like a guy asked for a pair and you made it happen? 'Cause
So
I got some pairs in mind I wouldn't mind getting for retail.
fair enough, fair enough. It's actually just more or less kind of a vibe in general and kind of how
Yeah.
we invite people because there definitely are kind of like big individual instances to stick out, but it's more or less just we get a chance to kind of one-on-one talk with a lot of the members that are starting out, and it's really really surprising to me kind of the sentiment that a lot of people are jumping into the scene with because it's not people you would kind of expect. I was actually just talking with a mom who was looking to kind of like outfit her entire family with stuff, so it was really cool to be able to talk that and really cool to be able to talk out like, hey, this is how this works without having to kind of have that whole intimidating air of like, okay, well these are like basically ungettable. You can show me a shoe online and it's most likely going to be resale only or something else. So being able to kind of open that up and being able to kind of put things out there that they were able to look forward to really really cool. But just as far as like stories from the community, we've definitely had connections made through the community that I thought were pretty cool, kind of outside of what even I'm able to offer. Even though we start out with being able to help people acquire these pairs of shoes, I started a live release lounge. Somebody's able to buy that for another person that they met that they got close to through the community. There was two people that I knew of that one had unfortunately had their daughter pass away, while the other had a son who was going through the same illness, and so they were able to kind of connect through that. And on, I believe, the Alma Mater launches last year, they were able to assist each other on pairs, which was really really cool. And I was like, that's a connection where like it, that almost gets transcendent. You're able to kind of have that person with you, and not only it's like a hobby kind of thing, but yeah, you're able to kind of get closer through that. So it's more or less just the fact that I'm able to talk to people on a daily basis and kind of take a lot of the cynicism that has existed in this hobby over the fact that like, hey, a lot of this stuff that people are finding dope just isn't gettable. Now they're actually able to relate over the fact that yeah, I want to be able to get these, or yeah, I'm able to help somebody else get these that really really wants them.
You're bringing hope. That's what it
In a
is.
sense, in a sense, yeah.
You can feel like it's helpless, hopeless, not possible. I've seen that look in people's eyes. They show you the picture and you're like, oh, dude, why are you going to like $1,000 pair of shoes? You're not going to get those, and they just go, oh, or they go like, why does just a regular gray pair of New Balance cost $500? I'm not even asking for much. But giving somebody that look of like, hey, you can get there too, and you don't have to be a genius or you don't have to be some dirty reseller. You can be part of this. You're not some gatekeeper.
Exactly. Yeah, and it takes a little bit of the elitism out of the hobby too, which I kind of like because it's just like I think everybody should be able to kind of jump in and associate on it just because hey, shoes are a form of expression. If you find that same form of expression with somebody else, it's not necessarily something you have to lock them out of, but it's something that you can almost appreciate together. Even though, having that pair that somebody else doesn't have is still a great feeling. I still feel like that carries a lot of the hobby, but there's still space for both of those things to exist, I feel.
And you got those Manier ones, don't you?
That I do, and also the threes.
Threes
So,
as well.
yep.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, is that good?
Good releases, by the way, yes, but also very good releases on that, and I also like, especially like how much of a wave that I think Alma Mater and as a brand has been able to ride off of last year. Huge, absolutely huge. Those are my favorite shoes, just off of the fact that it's just like full story, execution, drop wise, perfect. So very happy to have those two in my collection.
Well, and consistent. It all goes together. The twos look so good with both of those. Are you going for the twos as well?
That I am, and overall, looks like they're
job.
deploying quite big.
That's what I do,
Yeah, so
okay?
I've the research is already in the docs. We're working together on that, and also like we got the prep session all planned to kind of get people prepared for what that online release day ends up looking like. So yeah, definitely, if you're after those, just a quick little self plug. Get in on the SoleSavy, SoleSavy.com. We got you covered.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, we'll jump out unless you guys got anything else for Connor, and then we can go over this week's pairs, have some more fun. Cool? Right now, here today, what is your favorite shoe to put on? The one that you put on and every step in it is better than other shoes. This can change and evolve with the seasons, with the days of the week. I have one particular pair I am excited to put on. It feels better than the rest right now. Do you have a pair like that, Connor?
That I do, and it is the off-white Prestos from the original pack there. Pretty much any time that I'm out and about, I really love to wear those because of the fact that A, it's a shoe that has a lot of history that's kind of lineage around it, but also B, it's one of those history pieces that you could actually wear. I feel like overall, like the comfort of those and also just the Presto model in general is one that I really, really liked over the last little bit, and just overall, it's a shoe that works. It's understated. I don't really have to think about it too much when I'm wearing it
Hell
in the
yeah.
fit, but at the same time, it really, really leaves that mark whenever I do. So, has that perfect mix of comfort,
Yeah.
but also feeling like, oh, okay, you got something special on feet here.
Presto alone, very comfortable sock-like fit. This one with that upside down tongue looks like a pillow for your feet.
A bit, yeah. And I was like, definitely, I've worn that in situations where having an open mesh toe box like that's really absorbent isn't the greatest thing, but at the same time, like absolutely. And I was like, definitely fills up to that adage that they kind of advertise a Presto with of feeling like a t-shirt for your feet. Definitely right there, like just slips right in. Don't have to worry about being lazy in those, but also you can
Yeah.
really, really show out in them.
And when you got that DS pair at home, you're not really all that worried about it, are you? Look at you.
Little bit.
How about you, Nathan? Shade, you guys got like an absolute favorite right now? Like you guys really cycle. You actually go through every day different pair. I keep going back to the same pair.
It's the only way I can justify having so many, as long as I wear them. I don't know. It's kind of a toss up right now. It's well, actually no, it really isn't. I guess the more I think about it, it's those neutral gray Jordan One highs. I got those on all the time. Yeah, they're wearing in really nice. That's one pair I don't like clean after I wear them either or anything like that. So yeah, they're looking worn. Yeah, just again, no brainer to throw on. And yeah, the more I wear them, the more I like them. So every time you're putting them on, it's like, hey. So
It's funny, you get a white pair of shoes and people go, good luck keeping those clean. And you're like, you know what? The point with these ones is to wear them,
yeah,
to
I don't
really
want
get
to.
them beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a certain level of clean that you hit with white though, where it's just that perfect level of kind of worn though, and I'm like,
Right.
that's what you look to
Yeah.
hit and strike on for sure. I
There's
have a
like
friend.
the pandas you see at Costco, and then you just want to be this side of it, just this side of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off there, Connor. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's all good. I was gonna mention that like I got a friend over at SoleSavy who literally like bikes in them, and I was just like love the way that those neutral grays look after you really really wear those in.
Yeah, that's actually what sold me on them. I had seen them DS and clean, and I was like, well, I like this less. And I could pinpoint the exact moment. It was when we were in line for that concepts drop, actually, at less. And that one guy came in, and he had a worn pair on, and he was unlocking the door, and I was like, I need these. That's it.
Sold.
Game over. Yeah, and then I had a pair the week after. So there we go.
Frazo.
I think for me, it's the neutral gray lows. Same kind of thing. I don't know. I have two pairs, so my one pair that I've like worn is just absolutely fried. But they're good to just throw on if you're going to do something you don't really care. It's kind of between those or those Woodstock Ultra Boosts I have. The tie dye ones, just because I don't know, they're bright and out there. Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know. They're
Wow,
super
that was
easy
a
to just
quick
throw
snag.
on. Super comfy. Can't really go wrong. So between, I don't know, it'd be between those for sure.
I actually had a couple people with the hot take that they almost like the neutral gray lows more than they like the neutral gray highs when we had those two releases kind of coinciding with
Softer.
each other. That leather man on those lows is crazy.
Premium.
Well, is anybody going to ask what pair of shoes I can't get enough of?
I was purposely not asking because I wanted to see if you said something.
All right, next segment.
What else you got?
I'm willing to admit to that question if I'm being honest. It's going to be kind of a surprising answer. I was going to say as far as a shoe that I can't get a fit off in, I'm going to say Yeezy 350s just because of the way that I really feel like pants have changed over the last little bit, the way that those kind of look on feet after a little bit. I've never been able to get those to hit right. Haven't been able to find the baggy fit for them. Putting
a wide
on
leg on a
joggers with
350?
it's just no, it's not a good look. And so it's just like that is a shoe that I have a ton of, but at the same time I have absolutely no idea how to be able to wear them anymore because it just never feels natural.
Well, hey, Connor, can I ask you, because I saw them on your IG, the 450s.
Ah.
Have you worn them, or did you just put a pics?
That I have. So I have actually worn those, and actually, funnily enough, I have had more success wearing those in fits than I have with the 350s.
Okay,
I
before we go too far, can you try to
Ooh.
describe what does the 450 look like?
So, it definitely looks like a dumpling or a hargao.
Yeah,
So as far as that ends up going, I think the picture that I ended up taking it was I definitely did take like a steam pot and put them
yeah.
inside of there with a pair of chopsticks and kind of just let that ride for a little bit. But
They look
I'm
like
fine
a
with it.
gyoza. Yeah.
100%, 100%.
How do they feel?
I gotta admit, the upper isn't as comfortable as you think it would be being kind of full knit, but I would actually say the way that those are padded out and the way that those feel on feet aren't too bad at all. Weirdly enough, as far as a lot of people wondering probably what it's like to wear those wavy like old schools that Mischief ended up doing,
Yeah.
it's very much the same kind of thing. It's kind of cool that they have a little bit of a floating sole design going on there. But on the same discussion as far as like white shoes or keeping them kind of that neutral gray, those are impossible to keep clean. They get very dirty. I've worn those on like pretty much the perfect days and nothing but pavement and like mall floor, and yeah, no, those get dirty, dirty.
So they look whack. They're really expensive, but at least they're hard to
Nice.
keep clean.
Correct.
You
Yes.
got that.
But you know what? I will defend them in a slight semblance, and I'll defend a lot of the challenging easy models on that. Is that I really, really appreciate the fact that there's kind of that really out there silhouette brand kind of doing its own thing out there. So that's the reason why I kind of supported it as much as I did. I definitely think that like that's kind of the one and done colorway of it. I definitely wouldn't go for like that Onyx colorway or anything else. But I know I tend to stick up for a little bit more of like kind of the out there easy models because the Yeezy 700 V3s ended up being like one of my more favorite, like more wearable pairs over the last little bit, and kind of that direction as far as like crazy alien looking cages. I think that there's still a place for it. For as much as like people will rag on it, I appreciate the fact that they exist.
It's for real. The 450 was like I had to question if it was a joke. I for real was like, is this a shoe? Is this a thing? Is that and if it's the future, then I guess I'm not part of that future. But I still haven't been able to come around. And you see, guys, James Harden was wearing them, like real people actually wearing them. Okay, so
I yeah, hot take on that too. I would rather wear that than a 350, I think, at this point
Let's
for sure.
go.
No, and it's all the pants, right? Like if I had to pick between those two, believe me, I don't want either of them, but like if I had to pick between the two, yeah, it's that's the more wearable one, and it all comes back to the pants. Tim, before we get too crazy here, what's your feel
yeah.
good shoe?
Oh,
You
me? Well,
you're
I have been
teasing us.
wearing one pair of shoes a little
No, tell
more
us. Yeah,
often than the
just
other
if you
one.
had something in mind, maybe, or I don't know if you were prepared for this,
If you
but
had to put me on the spot, here's why I like these so much. So I put memory foam in the tongue of these because they have a zipper on them. So this is the City Market Dunk, okay? And it comes with like a grocery shopping bag inside of it, which does nothing for your foot. But if you fill it up with the foam, and then you got that SB feeling, and I got the lacing just right, bro, and they're really light and like breathable. This is a spring shoe. I feel like I can moonwalk and do backflips. And the little hit of green, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the most unique. That's the most unique use of that zipper I think I've heard of for the city market so far. So I got to give you props
Thank
on that,
you.
Tim. Because the other thing is the obvious other joke for hidden pockets and shoes. Uh,
All right. You ready to look at some shoes?
Absolutely ready to look at some shoes.
Yeah, boys, we got the new off-white Air Force One. I mean, there's not really a whole ton to say. You guys know what these are. They were originally thought to be sample pairs, but they have a like confirmed style code now, and they are apparently going to be releasing in July, in partnership with the Brooklyn Museum. They're doing a Virgil exhibit, so they're going to release them through that way. They're very similar, like color blocking to like the Lemonades and the MoMAs and the MCAs. The biggest difference with these is they have that hole on the tongue. Retail is supposed to be around like 160 US, but
Wouldn't that be a dream?
what do you guys think of these? I think these are gonna be like my second favorite of like this style. So like between like the MCA blue, like the MoMAs and the Lemonades. But Connor, I'm gonna throw this to you. What do you think of these?
Fair enough. So this is kind of just like an overarching opinion on all of these Museum Air Force Ones that he's had for a while. It was definitely a shoe that originally I felt very, very little towards, because I kind of knew that in my head that, like, selfishly enough, I couldn't appreciate them because of the fact that I was like, there's no way I'm getting my hands on these. Like, absolutely no way that I'm getting my hands on these. So they definitely kind of hit that almost like mythical tier, where it's just like, even if I had them, would you wear them? Would you, what can you really do? But I think I've actually really, really warmed up to these over time. Like, I think, again, unfortunately, I think the passing of Virgil really helped me kind of like come around to them, because I really see these as pieces I don't want to see on feet. These are pieces that I do want to see displayed in those museums that they were issued for. I think that these are really, really special items in that way now, and that I don't really need to see these in like crazy outfits. I don't need to see these on celebrity feats. I don't need to see these anywhere other than on display as a design influence for kind of where we are with sneakers and where we are with everything else. So, well, personally, I can't feel super strongly about them because they're not necessarily something that I would be able to pick up, or I would be able to wear, or be able to do without guilt on that. I think that this pair, in comparison to the other couples that released, probably about my third favorite. But overall, I'm really, really happy that we're seeing the release of them. And like I said, like, almost kind of wish they keep that mythical status. I don't think I need to see these release.
Fair enough, dude. Tabby.
Yeah, I like them. I don't have a whole lot more to say than that. That's a good shoe. Yeah, obviously I got no chance in hell of getting them, but if I could, I would. That's a nice shade of green. That's one we typically don't see on shoes. Oddly enough, that whole one color scheme look or has a really good look on the Air Force here. So yeah, you can't say enough good things about those other pairs too.
Which museum is this? Brooklyn?
Brooklyn Museum.
And
It's like
each color had a
BKM.
different museum, right? There was the MCA's was yeah.
Yeah, MCA was like that blue one.
Yeah.
Momo was I think it was the first white one, right?
Or was it
Or the
black?
black one, the
Black
black with
one,
the
yeah.
chrome swoosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then those lemonade ones. I don't think those lemonades were.
Yeah, they were the one in Boston. Oh,
I can't remember which one it was.
And I
it
remember
was
they
in
actually saw like a sneakers pass drop on those too, but
yeah,
Yeah.
it's whatever one's in Boston. It's like yeah, it might be like MOCA or something like that,
Mhm.
but it's something like that. Yeah, that's my favorite pair.
Yeah, yeah. The lemonade pair is
Yeah.
definitely my favorite.
Be yellow, blue, and then these for me, I think. Hello, kitty. Yeah.
How much do you like Prestos, Connor? Let's see.
I like Prestos a lot, and actually,
Yeah.
I like this pair a lot, because as far
Hell
as this
yeah.
goes, this is like a sneaker collector's release. I love the history behind this shoe. It had both Stephen Smith, who again is a designer at Easy Brand now, and also did the 700s and a whole bunch of other stuff, but also like even the lineage behind some of the others in the collection. Like we had Fragment on these at one point. This is definitely like out of the three colorways that I wish released, was definitely not the one I would have been the most hyped for, but even the fact that these exist from where they were originally, it's enough for me to be just like instantly on these.
Oh my God,
Definitely
Connor's
still
ready.
definitely still kind of holding out for them to release that original kind of like black and blue Stephen Smith colorway that we kind of see floating around here every now and again, but really, really happy that these came out. I think it's also been a really, really big year if you're an anime fan and you really liked anything sneaker related, because last year we had those Gundam SBs. I think these are awesome as far as Sanrio and Hello Kitty goes. Even though I'm not a big Hello Kitty person or even really like a big anime person, these hit. That box, that colorway, the fact that it's on a Presto, I'm down. These are a cop.
Nathan, tell us about these. Describe it. What do
All
we
right.
got?
I'm really glad that I had different notes there, so like it's perfect. I think our compliments will contrast very well on these. But these are supposed to release sometime this month. No exact date. We got one color for sure with a whole lot of details on them. We've got a couple looks at some apparel too. We'll get to that in a minute. These are releasing in. It kind of almost looks like full family. I don't know if it's going to be unisex, just men's, whatever. But we're getting a toddler pair, and we're getting these. The toddler pair might be the cutest pair of shoes ever to release. These are fantastic. There's just so many details. That heel cup on the back with the Hello Kitty face. See, there we have the toddler pair again. Show me a cuter pair of shoes. You can't. It's fine. We'll keep rolling. For those of us that don't know, and piggybacking off what Connor said, this release is almost cooler for sneakerheads than it is for Hello Kitty or Sanrio fans. There was a 2004 version of the Hello Kitty Nike Air Presto. that was intended to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the iconic Sanrio character. Those are as hard to find as can be. Reportedly, there's only around 10 to 24 pairs of each style. I know from seeing videos and stuff that they weren't sized typically like shoes are now with like a a 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half kind of thing. You could get small, medium, or large.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so good luck figuring out what size you wear that way if it wasn't hard enough already.
Are these
Um,
TTS?
yeah, I need the double XL. But these are cool. Yeah, that blue hits, the toe box hits, the collection, the apparel collection hits. That shirt is super cool. The shorts we can see peeking at the bottom there with the heads all over them. This is sweet. You see a whole bunch of hard men with Hello Kitty on this summer, and I'm here for it.
I was about to say, I really want to see what the full like Hello Kitty fitted ends up looking like.
Hell yeah.
I was so surprised to see these in the show notes, and it's awesome that Connor's hyped for them. I was like, what's going on? We got this guest on. We don't even know him. We're going to talk about these Hello Kitty shoes. I hope they're hot. I didn't know any of the history. So you're
Tim.
saying you want to wear them?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You
I
wanna-
would for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are cool. What's wrong with that? What are you trying to say, Tim?
Just, I guess maybe the Gundam is more my deal. Those were hot. The Transformer shoes last year, those were nuts. This, I wouldn't have guessed that it's a hot shoe. Shazos, you feel this?
Oh yeah, these are hard.
Hell
And dude,
yeah.
anything with a special box, I'm down for. They could suck, and as long as I get a cool box, I'm in.
Yeah.
These are tough. I sounds like weird. I want that toddler pair in like the smaller size that they make, just so I can hang them from the mirror in my car.
Hey, that's the way.
Yeah.
Those are so cute. No, I want a pair for the toe. I would rock them.
Well, I'll take this shirt, 100, and I'll wear it with these. If it's all right to move on, unless you guys want to talk some more about the Hello Kitty joints. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's it.
All right, so we're looking at an Air Jordan 1 Low, and it is the OG cut. This is called Bleached Coral. This one got a reaction from Fredo. When he types breathing intensifies, send something in the chat, you know we got something. So the importance of having an OG, you can tell the difference. The tongue is like the Jordan 1 High. It's got the Nike Air tag, not a Jumpman. And the tongue, I think, on these OG cuts does change the way that the shoe fits and feels. You also get the Wings logo at the top of the heel instead of the bottom. And it just all around, it fits better. It'll be higher quality materials. So we don't see a lot of Air Jordan 1 Low OGs. There's been the neutral grays. There's been the starfish. Back in 2016, they did Chicago's and Shadows. I think there was one last summer that technically qualified as an OG called,
Soulfly.
yeah, the Soulflies as well. There was one last year, though, those green ones, Green Ghost is what they were
Yes.
called. They kind of had the shiny metallic on the heel. It just wasn't it. But other than that, they're batting 1,000 on these. The thing that's different about these joints is the cracked black leather. You'll notice right away that it's kind of got that black toe color blocking, but I've never seen a leather like this before. It almost looks like reptile skin. And the dusty pink color is all suede. Black tongue, white paneling. I know Fredo needs these. He's already got a pair that looks like these.
I need about 3 pairs of these.
Yeah. Yeah, these are hot.
So this is where I can be a little bit divisive.
Sure.
I'm still not fully sold on the Jordan 1 Low. Just as somebody who has been as much as like a Nike SB Dunk head as possible with the lows, I still vibe a little bit more with that silhouette. I think overall they're doing the right strides. I think they've definitely managed to really bring back that shoe from what it was before, but it's still not really the one for me. I think like the only Jordan 1 Low that I have in my collection still are the neutral grays, just because they had that sort of OG colorway. They had sort of that OG precedence behind them, but it's just always the fact that I think that with like Jordan 1 Lows, it's still that factor of feeling like they always sub out materials versus just kind of letting them ride for what they are, right? Where if I'm thinking about these and I'm thinking like, okay, we don't have the cracked leather, we don't have the suede, or we don't have anything else. If you were to give me that exact shoe color block, but just like traditional Jordan 1 leather, I'd be all the way for it. I would be 100% down for that. But I think it's just the fact that they keep trying to sub in materials on these, and they keep trying to like kind of have that additional element that almost feels like it takes away from it versus like their bigger mainline releases, that I feel like if we were able to kind of ditch that mindset, I would feel a lot more on board with it. But just overall, I haven't really truly been sold on them, even down to like Travis 1 fragment lows, even down to like a lot of the good like kind of mainstay colorways there. Never really been able to like truly vibe with them. But I am happy over the fact that we're getting shoes that look very, very similar to Rust Pinks, because man, I need an actual proper Rust Pink replacement or restock on them, because those atmospheres were close, but they weren't quite there. But also shout out, rest in peace, Peter Moore. Wings logo on the back. I ended up passing yesterday, and that was very tough news to hear.
Connor, on top of it. Thank you, bro. Yeah, that's is it 38 years old, this design?
Yep.
Yeah.
As well as that Wings logo, which still is probably my favorite Jordan brand insignia, like out of anything that they've done.
Iconic.
Yep.
You like the Wings better than the Jumpman?
I do, very, very much so. I like the Wings better than the Jumpman, because I feel like it's made its way on. I feel like it's a little bit more subtle, and I feel like it feels a lot more classic to me.
Yeah, well, you think about all of the Jordans that people dock points on because it's a Jumpman shoe. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a hotter take than I was expecting. Charbroiled over here.
We got to heat it up every now and again, right? I was like, I feel like. My question is, have we ever had anybody else on the show who's kind of felt a certain type of way about mids or a certain type of way about lows?
Oh yeah, we've had people that like mids. You bet.
I was kind of thinking the other way around. I'd be no, really? Okay, well, yeah.
No, I thought that's what you wanted, because yeah, the consensus is no bueno with the mids. But yeah, we've had
I was like, winds are changing. Damn. Okay.
Here's what I'll
a few
just
the proud.
if you found a pair of mids and you put them on and you feel like how I described, I got a pair of shoes that I'm excited to wear right now. I don't want to take that away from anybody. For me, what you were describing, Connor, how the lows are not quite the highs. They don't just chop the top off. It's always just a little bit different. The mids are an extra step in the wrong direction. It's always the coloring, the material, all of it. For me, I wouldn't get that feeling of I love wearing these, but I'm no gatekeeper. Bro, if you found a pair of mids that you like, rock them all day.
Fair enough. And it was like, it just always feels like those, like, especially just those two silhouettes always feel like they're fighting for like people's approval. And I was like, if anything, I got to give Jordan Brand kind of the credit for it, just because, yeah, that's why I was surprised. Like, there was definitely a day and age, not even that long ago,
Yeah.
where you'd get into that conversation with somebody and they'd just be like, no, I don't screw with the mids at all. Like, they just like absolutely hate. And I was like, I'm a little bit more convinced, honestly. Like, I think I don't have any sort of that detachment against the mids. I think like the biggest thing that ended up selling me on them was definitely the year where they kind of had that Fearless pack, the Blue the Great ones with sort of the corduroy makeup and sort of the suede all over them, even though that's entirely like against what I just said with the lows. I think that like it's a cool play on it. They were giving it to the right people. I think that overall, though, I think I just appreciate the fact that I've been able to see them on feet more. Like, it's kind of, I consider that to kind of be like the everyday person's Jordan 1 now, just because of the fact that, you know, you see them so much out and about. And even though there's like the just frustrating tweaks on like certain colorways where like especially they'll find like 8 different ways to like give you almost a Chicago, like 90% of the Chicago,
Yes.
like, oh, we colored the toe box slightly weirder, or we took the color away from the heel, so now you can paint it yourself. Like, it's still kind of weird over the way that they're treating it, but I will say that I was like, that's a shoe that's had a way better trajectory than where it originally started.
They are such a tease with the Chicago color, like, oh, we're going to show you about 90% of it, but then the toe box is black. You're like, oh, almost, hey? Yeah, just about. Okay, well, I really appreciate your time here, Connor. We play a game every week called Rock, Paper, Skippers. So there'll be one pair that you wear, there's one that you sell, you make the paper on, and there's one that you just forget about. Now, I don't know how fair this is. We got Hello Kitty Prestos, we got those off-white Air Forces, and then we've got these pink and black Jordan One Lows. One to sell,
Hey,
one to
yo.
wear, one to forget about. Rock, paper, skippers. Now, do you have a soul? You know, are you just going to go for the money? Are you just selling this piece of Virgil's art to make all the money? Is that something you're going to do? Or are you going to keep it and you're going to have to wear it a couple of times? That's part of the deal. Rock, paper, skippers.
So, and that's the thing. I hope this doesn't get me in hot water with my job. But if anything, it's going to be a bit of a surprising answer. I'm really, really sad about my answer, if I'm being honest, though. I would rock those Hello Kitty Prestos. I think it's just over the fact that, like I said, those in its own right have an amazing story associated with them and crazy, crazy names behind those shoes. And I really, really do hope that we get the rest of that pack. But again, it's on a Presto. Crazy elements to that. That's definitely an eye catcher when you're going out and about. So I would definitely rock the Prestos. I would definitely rock the Hello Kitty Prestos. It hurts. It really hurts, but the paper would be on the Virgils, just because of the fact that, like I said before, those are definitely like at a certain level where you really have to start considering, like, if I'm wearing these, am I ruining a piece of history? And I think that is my major detachment against it, over just the fact that I'm like, those are ones that I want to leave preserved in like their pristine condition if I'm going to end up getting them, because for as much as I want to be able to wear them, again, those are probably going to be produced in such a limited quantity and be tied to something that's so historic that it feels like no matter what you wear them to, you can't really get your worth out of it. So those would definitely be like sell, but to somewhere where hopefully they're going to be able to be preserved and appreciated the most.
Do you guys see how he like a politician slipped by the answer there? He's like, I'm not doing it for the money. Preserve the art.
Yes.
I mean, the paper helps, but
Sure. Well, it might be like a down payment on a house. Like, this is real money.
yeah.
That's the biggest part.
And yeah, the skip would unfortunately be on the Air Jordan One Lows. I appreciate that shoe is definitely getting a lot better with their releases, and I do appreciate the fact that we do have this OG cut. Really like the way that Wings logo hits, and I really like the fact that we're taking away things like the little tongue tag with the 23 and throwing Jumpmans on there where it doesn't necessarily need to be. But at the same time, I'm still holding out for like, okay, give me like an actual rust pink retro or something like that, and I'll be way more down for that than those.
Yeah. Word. Guys, did you want to do that one other hypothetical question that we've been joking about?
I want to rock through this one with all of us, Tim.
Okay, well, we'll go through this. I just wonder if you
Yes.
want to do one more after that or if you want to wrap.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, we'll do that hypothetical
right.
one. This is a good week to do it.
Perfect. Go ahead, Nathan. Rock, paper, skippers, my friend.
Oh, I didn't mean like now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm gonna mine's the same as Connor's, but in I guess different ways. I'm gonna rock the Hello Kitty just because I don't have anything like that. Like we talked about, it comes in a special packaging. That's a cool display, everything like that. But yeah, it's super unique. You're not really gonna see anything like that. Like, to be honest, it's really just between two that I'm gonna wear out of these three, and that's that Jordan One Lowe or these. And I don't have anything like that, and it would just be super cool to have. You said there's a lot of history behind it and everything, so why not play ball, right? I'm selling those Virgil Air Forces. If you think there's any sort of sentimental value to a guy that you didn't know or even meet, that you can't sell these shoes or whatever, you need to just give your head a shake. That's a hill I'd die on for sure. You're dumb as hell if you're going, well, I can't sell these. Virgil made them. Idiot.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, they're 20.
Yo.
They're 20 grand, and you're eating off the value menu. Sell those shoes. Sell those shoes. I don't
He's
get.
got spice. Yo.
Well,
Okay.
I don't like.
This has been a stirring tribute.
Okay.
Like. Like, I wouldn't even call it like financially smart, as just not being an idiot. Like, even if Virgil gave me these shoes, I would sell them. Like, these are 20 grand, and like you said, that's a down payment on a house. You like, let's be smart. Is all I'm gonna say. Sell those shoes. I don't give a shit where they go. I don't give a. It's give me the money. It's
100.
it. You gotta just be smart here. Again, they're all just shoes, right? It is art. I do see it, but again, gotta look at it for what it is.
I want to be angry, but I'd say the same thing about the Dior's. So
Sell it. Sell it.
That's a sell. That's a sell.
Timmy.
Shay, you've already got some pink lows. You know what I'm saying? You don't need these.
I need them. I'm rocking those.
3 pair.
I'm rocking the One Lows. I mean, I'm getting the bag off the Air Forces.
Yeah.
I love the Hello Kitty Prestos, but unfortunately, if one's got to go, it's gonna be those.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm same as Shay. We'll wear the same. We'll get the Hello Kitty shirt to go with our rust pink and black crocodile skins. It's gonna be awesome.
If anything, it's not far off from that fit, so I mean, hey, it'll work.
It's gonna click. So the hypothetical, this came up. We were like, we should just have more fun on the podcast. What if they made Forrest Gump today? What if they made a new version of Forrest Gump today? What running shoes would you put on them? What shoes would you replace the Nike Cortez, those white, red, and blue joints from the original film with?
So actually, I'm surprised by my answer on this, but I would honestly say Gel Light threes. Like I'm going the Asics direction with it, where it's just
New
like
sponsorship.
In a similar... Exactly. There we go. We'll call them up. No, but as far as that goes, I think that like I kind of like the fact that we have that little bit of rivalry on the fact that Asics was kind of where that Cortez design had a little bit of contention over which one came there first. But I think overall, like that's a shoe that still kind of fits that same sort of vibe. I think it's a great performance running shoe that people don't recognize the full history behind, and I think is definitely kind of on the rise. A lot of the Gel Light models kind of are. But yeah, I would go with a pair of Asics Gel Light 3s.
That's with the center slit tongue?
Yep.
Yeah?
I thought you were gonna say the Zig Tech.
A callback!
No. All right. Okay.
Hey.
He's been listening. He's
I
been
love
listening.
it.
I love it.
It's so funny.
I think it'd be sick to see him in a Tom Sachs Mars yard.
Ooh. Wow. He out there
Just
in those, huh?
beating him. Coast to
Fried,
coast.
dude.
He's got like one of those Nike wear tester things right before he makes that run down the road. Oh, love it.
Yeah, I could see him cooking a pair of those. With like the overshoe on it too, the Tom Sachs.
Just on one.
Oh,
One
no.
side mismatch
He's
it. Yeah.
doing the Connor. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I heard about that guy at the Apple store.
Yeah, well, Forrest Gump did have apple ties too, so maybe it's a thing.
That's true.
He's
Yeah,
on it.
fruit company.
They got
I
those. They got the new version of the Cortez as well. Those Sakai. Have you seen the future picture of
Ooh.
these?
Yeah. And
That could just be the future upgrade right there.
True.
The
True.
Union Cortez.
Yeah.
Yeah, those canvas joints. Yeah, put
I'm
some
giv-
miles in on that cork.
I want to give him that new pair of the off-white blazer lows, the red and white with that wild hook thing on
The
the
wing.
back.
The
Damn.
Subaru wing.
Spoiler.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a spoiler for him running across the country there.
The Swiss cheese looking joint.
Yeah, maybe they could work in like he ran holes through the shoes, so you give Virgil the idea there,
Speed
because he
holes,
was
yeah.
because he was that big influence to pop culture. So
Whoa, you just stepped in a huge pile of shit.
yeah,
It happens.
there we go.
Well, that was even more fun than I expected. I wouldn't have guessed an A6 pull for sure. Where can people find you online, Connor?
For sure. So, as far as on social, I keep it pretty quiet. So, just my Instagram page now, which is at bear_sabi. That's SABI. And then also, pretty much anytime that there's a big release happening, you'll find me on SoleSavy. So, as far as that goes, we'll be on Zoom or everywhere else. And you can sign up for SoleSavy to be able to get access to that at solesavy.com. I believe over the next little bit, we will also be rolling out our new app, hopefully open public beta soon, but Collect. So that is going to be our marketplace app, very, very similar to kind of some of the other things that you've seen out there, but with the touch that we want to bring back the peer-to-peer aspect of being able to negotiate, being able to talk out what those trades look like, but also have that same vibe that SoleSavy has had, where you can be sure that you're not going to get tagged for a crazy, crazy amount extra for using the platform or anything else. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. But yeah, otherwise at my socials or at SoleSavy.
SoleSavy's doing an app called Collect. I will watch for that, yes. And Bear Sabi, if you want to see the Spider-Man picture we're talking about where he's sliding around in those slippery 95s. Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I really respect the way you're connecting people with shoes in a world where this is kind of money for other people. This is we care about putting them on feet and matching them up with a fit and feeling good about life, So let your coworkers know. We got room for them over on this podcast. Line starts here.
Absolutely.
Send it
Absolutely.
through. All right. Well, that's it for Sneaker Show Podcast. It's been a gas. Peace. Y'all want to give away some shoes?
Golden ticket time.
So
we got the giveaway.
we just say find the winners, and it finds our winners?
It's going to do it all for us, and it's going to give us 5 beautiful winners. We're going to double check and make sure they are at the very least following us. And if you are, you're going to get one of these golden tickets. And if you aren't, I hope you learn how to read.
Find winners.
755 comments. Let's go.
That's what's up. Thank you,
What's
Momentum.
happening? Thank you, Momentum. If you get selected on here, this will be on our Instagram. We will be reaching out. You will be getting into contact with us. You will be getting into contact with Momentum. You will get that golden ticket. Whatever happens after that.
What's
Oh,
coming
boy.
out this year? They got the Chicago's at Christmas. There's going
Could
to be
huge. A lot of 2s coming out. A lot of nice 2s.
How long does the golden ticket last? You get
It was
the
for
rest of the year?
for the year. All right, scroll down. Here we go.
Here we go.
Congratulations. Here are the winners. We got Brooke Lizer, Howard Lamb,
Schaefer.
Josh Schaefer.
Joshi.
Scroll it down just a hair.
L Boyle 9.
A.
What's up? And D Shatalini.
Hey yo. There we go.
D Shatalini.
Congratulations. All right, scroll it back up to the top. Let's make sure these people are. Oh no, yeah. Let's double check here. We are on the Sneaker Show Instagram. We're making sure that you are Brooke.
Is good on Momentum.
She is following us as well.
Brooke confirmed golden ticket winner. Number
Congratulations.
1.
Hey. Let's look at our boy Howard Lamborghini over here. Howard Lamb. He is following. Oh, and he's got some cool shoes. Good for him.
Congratulations.
he's
You're
good
going
on
to add to the
Momentum.
collect.
Perfect. We got our
2.
boy, our good friend Josh Schaefer.
He is also good.
He is also good. Let's go down here. Let's take a look at our last 3.
3 for 5.
This is good.
Liam is good for Momentum.
Liam, congratulations, brother.
He's good with us too. Congratulations.
And the heir to the Chatelaine magazine fortune, D Chatalini.
And he good with us too. Oh, he's got some cool
He's
pictures.
good.
Good for him.
Wow, congratulations, everybody. Look at that.
Hell yeah.